Hello and welcome to round 3 coverage of the 2021 Dynamic Discs Open from here in the Sunflower State, more specifically the front porch of the Flint Hills, Emporia, Kansas. BigSexyBarri commentary here, myself Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
Let's get into that Grip 6 low profile. Eagle McMahon leading the charge, or at least he's tied atop 27 under par. Only one OB stroke, is that right?
You gotta love it.
Goodness. Ben Callaway, what an impressive gutsy 14 under in the second round. And the third guy tied atop, Calvin Heimburg. Right now, he's only got one OB throw as well. And Ricky just 2 off the pace. He's playing for a lot this weekend.
Hole 1 gets us started out here at Emporia Country Club, par 5, 1,175 feet. This one has a wide fairway, but OB on both sides. The tee pad is a little bit left than it has been in years past, which I think allows the players to get a bit more aggressive. The second basket is the one we're going to, the long basket. You see this OB wall come into play. And then make note of this sidewalk coming in and then this small golf tee area. That is also OB. So you have that one last little bit to contend with as you come into the green.
Sponsored by Discraft, Benjamin Callaway.
And let's get to know Ben a little bit better.
My name's Ben Callaway. I'm 33 years old and I'm from the Quad Cities, Iowa. Being on lead card, obviously that comes with many challenges. But one thing that definitely helps me is just keeping my routine in the morning. Drink my coffee, make my oatmeal, have a banana, and then also get a good workout in. Nothing really too strenuous, just something that will get the blood flowing and keep my body in shape for the round. And I just treat it like it's another day. And then I come out here, I play my game. So I was about 20 years old when I first picked up a disc and actually started playing disc golf. Shortly about a year after that, that's when I joined the PDGA in 2009. Started playing as an amateur. Around 2010, I played the United States Amateur Disc Golf Championships, you know, the major for all AMs. It's one of the ones that everybody wants to go to, and I ended up taking 8th place. People were telling me I could have gone pro that year, but I told myself that I wanted to win this event, US AMs. For the full year, from 2010 until that following year, 2011, I trained vigorously. I worked on nothing but putting and mentally trying to keep myself strong.
Welcome to the PDGA's online coverage of the 2011.
And I show up, and Brian Sullivan, may he rest in peace, he was the team manager of Discraft at that time, which I did not know. And he was asking every amateur before the event, well, how do you feel like you're gonna do at this tournament? And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, I'm gonna win. And you know, he kind of laughed, but little did he know that how serious I was. And sure enough, final day, 3rd round, I standing on 17 with a 2-stroke lead. He walks up to me and says, hey, you didn't know this, but I'm a team manager for Discraft and I just want to congratulate you on your tournament. In the moment, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, sure, dude, thanks. But in the reality of it, that's kind of like a messed up thing to do. I only had 2 strokes on the guy in 2nd place. And I had 2 holes to play, and they're not exactly easy holes to end on. But sure enough, I went birdie par and ended up winning the event, and now the rest is history. I've been sponsored by Discraft ever since. Emporia is notoriously known for having high winds. The courses themselves, I mean, they are challenging, but when the wind is low, they're pretty scoreable. But in the high winds, the goal is to just make sure you keep your discs in the fairway and keep them as close to the basket as possible, because putting in these winds is just, it's very hard to do. For myself, I'm going to be taking a lot of my overstable fairways and high-speed drivers and making sure that I keep everything just in the fairway and keep myself in a position to score. First things first, my family comes first. There are times where I feel like when I'm out here throwing a disc, it's like almost a little silly because my wife's back home you know, with my daughter, working a job, holding the fort down, and I'm out here tossing a disc around. But every time she gives me a call, anytime I'm playing a good round, the support that I get from her is, it's I can't really describe it. It's a feeling that it takes anything that I was doing bad during a round and just, it's gone. She really is my rock. When I have that, I know that I can't do no wrong out here.
So impressed by Ben Callaway thus far, and every time he's met any adversity on the course, he's come back strong with a great next hole, and hasn't really faced too much adversity so far, but, you know, I mean, it's impressive to see him do really well in that first round, second round.
And without a doubt, this is the tougher course. So I think we're going to see, I don't know that we're going to see quite as many star frames today because there's a little bit of wind, and there just aren't those 650-foot par fours quite as often. Most of the holes take a little bit more.
Let's go, Eagle.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, yesterday, the day before, that was like a fun course for these guys. They knew it was scoring conditions and they could go really low. This is a different story. It's round 3, it's moving day, and the pressure is mounted for all of these guys.
And there's 3 guys tied at top to top. I mean, pretty awesome to see that. You very rarely get to see such a tight leaderboard, but the sprint is on, and round 3 has officially begun.
From Tampa Bay, Florida, sponsored by Innova, Calvin Heimburg.
Go, Calvin.
I don't think we've had a third round lead card at a big tournament without Calvin this year that I can remember.
It's certainly worth digging into the stats to see if that's true, but it's probably the case.
It sounds extremely believable to me because that's the level this guy's on.
Two-time world champion, sponsored by Innova, Ricky Wysocki.
And Ricky this year has been kind of a little...
Please join Ricky in a moment of silence for his sister, Lauren. Thank you.
Pretty powerful stuff right there.
Now it's time to play disc golf.
Yeah, I was going to say about Ricky Wysocki this year, it seems like he's had slow starts, but then it seems like each round he just keeps getting better and better and puts himself in position, and then by the end of the tournament, you know, he's been hoisting the trophy a lot lately.
And it's funny to say that the 10 down initial round was a slow round, but it really was. We saw some extremely uncharacteristic mistakes from him, throwing some discs, some approach shots with his pigs out of bounds, missing some putts, and just like that, he's right there at the top.
And I think this second shot, ooh, this is very low. This may be a little bit more interesting for these guys than most players because that out of bounds clearly in play for these big throwers. How much are you going to try to bite off here?
I think it's important to get, I'd like to say that you want to get about 250 from the pin on your second shot. That way you can come into the green with a good putter. And even if you get 350, I think that's fine, but I don't think you really want to attack the screen with a high-speed disc just because that slope behind the basket takes you down towards the OB behind the basket, which is about 45 feet deep.
And we see Ricky going pretty conservative here with the forehand. Speaking of attacking the green, I got to shout out Anthony Barella. Bushnell Tent is up there announcing the long drive for every thrower. Anthony drove it 667 feet.
No.
And then he went out of bounds long in 2.
No. No way. Is this real?
That's real. And he went out of bounds 70 feet long, out of bounds on his second shot. So attacking the green with driver, not such a good idea. In fact, you were right there, Jerm, but just boggles the mind.
Well, if we're in the business of giving congratulations and recognizing people for accomplishments, we got to go. Hello, Jonathan Nicholson, for the 346-foot throw-in on this hole to start the round off with an eagle.
That's incredible.
Speaking of eagle, Eagle almost had a 346-foot throw-in right there, flashing the chains, going a bit deep.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be very happy with that.
I feel like in years past there's been an out-of-bounds line that was kind of not as forgiving as this year. It seems like you can go back there like a good amount of distance before, you know, you're really punished. Now, obviously, you're punished by going deep, but...
Great shot from Calvin. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that OB line has been kind of a little bit more lenient. It's more lenient this year than it is in the past.
Yeah, a little bit.
Woo.
Good job. Thank you.
And Ricky, when he throws that pig, good things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's like it's still thick. Like it's short, but it's thick. Yeah. Sit. Go in. Go in. Just sit. Yeah, so if you throw it on there.
Okay, so Callaway with the zone. That's going to be a little slight tester from 27, 28 feet.
Yeah, I threw a different disc on hole 1. I was going to throw that one. But yeah, you see me running in the background.
So good from this range all throughout round 2.
There you go, Ben.
And picking up right where he left off. It's a great confidence builder right there on hole 1.
Yeah, that time he was 2 inches right. Yesterday he was
on the pole.
Perfectly on the pole. Yeah, he's been putting great, and Ricky taps in for his nice birdie, and 3 birds, 1 par. I feel like that's actually pretty good for this hole. This is
Absolutely
right. What do we got here, Jerm?
Oh, I mean, it's only the 7th hardest hole, but that's 5.2, and we really only had a couple holes over at Jones Gold that averaged that high. So I mean, that's right there showing you how difficult this course is in comparison to the other championship level course that we're playing. But yeah, 5.2 average is pretty difficult for a par 5.
Hole 2, par 4, 731 feet with the out of bounds on the left side. Just a rough on the right. This one is uphill, and a lot of your upshots are going to be blind. Though if these guys go big backhand, I promise you they're going to be able to see the basket from where they're going to land.
This one tricky because this tree here that Ben is flying towards really it serves as that bunker tree. It keeps you honest. It makes you want to throw a lot of angle to stay away from the out of bounds, but that tree there, if you put too much angle, your disc is flying right towards that.
I feel like he had a really good tree there. That thing was going to the right, which there's a lot of like little bushes and what is it?
Foliage.
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 Foliage. Thank you.
Foliage.
Foliage. Nope, not going to try it again. Here's Ricky.
Oh, 2 for 2 on hitting this this bunker tree. And Ricky, he's heading towards it as well.
There it is.
What is he heading towards?
He's heading towards that foliage on the right side of the fairway.
Should be fine.
Nestled just behind that upright arborvitae. Eagle, such a strong weapon to have on this hole to be able to go forehand off the tee, get 415 feet up thereabouts, and setting yourself up for another forehand around the outside.
Oh, hit the tree.
This is in danger of pushing towards the out of bounds, but it gets the tree hit that I think Calvin was hoping for. It slows down just a bit.
No, he's got a putt.
He's got a putt.
Yeah.
Makes about probably 38% of the time, I'll say.
Ben electing to go backhand high route, pinching through the tight gap, and hits it perfect.
I really think that tree was just a big-time benefit for him to hit.
Very well.
Before he went right into that F word that I will not say.
Yeah, don't say any more of the F word. Not on our coverage.
Here's that big spike hyzer Jerm was talking about. Land soft, skip a little bit.
Look at that.
Look at that nice roll up forward. Beauty.
Ricky likes that line. Look at that. Huge drive
That's great.
going for the approach with the pig on this 751 foot
Uphill as well. That's incredible.
wind was relatively low, but as you can see, it started to gust there, and that just dropped Calvin's putt right out of his hand. The round started off at around like 5 to 7 mile an hour winds, north-northeast.
Yeah, Eagle.
Putt, Eagle.
Eagle, a little bit farther away than it looked from our catch cam, but able to make the putt from 30 feet. Good birdie to get his day started.
Here you go, Van.
Okay.
2 for 2. Just 16 under and 20 holes.
We haven't seen him miss a putt since hole 3 in round 2. He has made everything that he has seen since that time, and that was probably the closest he's been to missing.
16 under 20 holes.
I don't think this will ever happen, guys, but if my putt ever starts to look like his, could you tell me? Because I feel like then I could just sort of be happy for the rest of the time that I'm alive. It's looking great. Par 3, hole 3, 489 downhill, OB on the right and the left.
This is a great bonus birdie to get. 3.05 average, but not that many birdies.
Ooh, that was scary.
Needs to get down. In a hurry.
Oh, no.
Terrible first skip.
That's one of the least skippy areas if you can get down into that long stuff, but he didn't quite do it. I think he may have missed his line there. Certainly missed his angle.
Yeah, and that sidewalk kind of gets quick. Comes up quick when you miss on this hole, left and right. I don't know. This is just one of the harder par 3s that you'll play.
Yeah, it's about 75% of the field taking par on it just because it's so hard to reach in the air. Eagle and Ricky both with that sidearm ability to be able to throw that low wide play with hyzer angle. Eagle's gone pretty low.
Yeah, very. I mean, not a lot of people have this weapon, obviously. We talk about it all the time, but
Did it hit a tree, or did that just...
It may have just been a bit short.
I've never said that about Eagle sidearm before.
I feel like when I think about Calvin throwing an eagle, I actually stepped on the tee today and I thought, man, I wish I was Calvin, and I'm not lying about that. And look at this.
Is
Go
that
in.
because of that?
Oh, my gosh.
What? See, I just thought, I was like, he would just park this, and you're not going to.
Hair for hair, he is the best fairway driver thrower on the planet, and it's not even a question.
Seriously,
go in the basket.
Get down.
Oh, okay. You ask you.
That's a great tree.
Great shot.
Wow. And just that he's saying right way from all the way back there, 489 feet away. He's like, perfect tree. I'll take that.
Ben trying to vocally guide it into the basket. A little bit of that friendly card play that we heard all throughout round 2.
That's about the first thing I think of when I think of Ben. He's been around at tour events for years and years and years. Obviously now he's on full-time tour, but just a nice guy. Every time I ever see him, he has something nice to say, he's smiling.
Mm-hmm. Since we're speaking about friendly card activity, that card yesterday, I know that we've seen some pretty impressive scores before for our league groups, but collectively, between the 4 of them, Chris Dickerson, Ben Callaway, Calvin Heimburg, Eagle McMahon, 51 under par.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
That's a lot.
51 under par.
Look at this start. Remember what I said about this course being harder and they weren't going to go 14 down? Rick is like listening and pissed.
Just a drop in for Calvin. That's so impressive. That's so hard to do. The height control, the speed control, angle control, anything can happen. And he's left out of bounds, right out of bounds, or just hits a tree.
High speed
doesn't park
disc
you.
on that whole backhand. It just fades from right to left. There's just to be able to get that to turn perfectly. You're right, Paul. It's incredible.
Calvin don't fade. Hole 4, par 3, 423, OB right and sidewalk OB left. Big hyzer for these guys. Just try to hit the landing zone a little short and take a short skip up to the basket.
Yeah, lawn darts, I feel like, for this group.
Ricky going Halo Destroyer. This is on a really good line.
That's going too. That's money.
Asking for it to sit.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
That's a good tree, though. Good shot.
Wow, that
I think that might have been in without the tree.
Calvin liking the disc selection. Also going Halo. This is a little tighter. Needs a good friendly skip and not a bad guy skip.
Whoa.
Getting the bad guy skip.
Man.
Crazy.
It's pretty much pin high. Not that long of a putt for his par, but be one extra stroke on his scorecard.
See if Eagle goes any higher to try to combat that. Well, he certainly went wider.
This thing's a huge skip.
Wow.
And these greens, they just aerated them. They're very soft, and it's so strange what kind of skips you get off the shortcut grass on the green. Sometimes you get big skips. Sometimes it just kind of gobbles the disc up.
I've noticed on some of these holes that the landscaping crew left the out of bounds area kind of poofy and kind of manicured. And I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's a
do.
good
So
technique.
if you're hitting out of bounds, very likely you're going to be staying there.
And that was a great shot from Ben. You see him use the additional height, all the power he has, to allow that thing to come into the green really softly.
Eagle, this needs to get down.
Ooh,
That's an instant OB.
Gone.
That's that putt that you have to draw chains. If you don't, that's going to happen more times than not.
Yeah, we talk about his putt being so good when he's making them, and it's good even when he misses, obviously. But the one thing that he probably has to deal with is if he misses that in that way, left or right, that is going out of bounds and kind of a double-edged sword once in a while.
Yeah, it is a very rare occasion that it becomes the pointy end of the sword towards him. But
For sure, I'd trade him. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Normally he's attacking people with the pointy side of the sword.
Yeah, I'll fall on that sword anytime.
Yeah, I usually do. Ricky with a tap-in birdie. That's 4 straight for Rick. He's not intimidated by the situation. I mean, of course he wouldn't be, but out here to play.
Hole 5, par 4, 666 feet. This is a really tricky hole because you have to stay in between the sidewalk on the right and the golf fairway on the left, and then there's just so many trees in the fairway. So you have a kind of a wide hyzer option if you put your drive in the right place, but then the green is so narrow. You probably only have about 30 or 40 feet of width total where the basket is between the two sides of the out of bounds.
666-foot par.
Whoa.
That's not coming
Boom, boom,
back.
boom.
Yeah, that's a big tee shot that is OB for probably 400 feet.
That was so aggressive. He was looking to get way up there with that. This is more traditional. Still huge, but not a flex.
One thing to note about these shots, though, the farther you throw it, I mean, that might be far enough. You can really get pinched off from the line that you would want to take, which is the left hyzer over the OB or the right hyzer over the right OB. Going in between all of those trees is pretty difficult, but these guys will probably...
Don't.
Oh, yeah, he's right.
Look at
Twice in a
that
row.
skip OB. So Calvin will have to scramble once again to save the par. But that left side is pretty easy if you have a good serviceable forehand, and Calvin does have one of those. Eagle flexing the sidearm weapon once again. I think benefit goes to the forehand player. If you've got 400 feet, you can avoid this tree right off the tee. Just play that one angle hyzer and just get a ton of distance.
Wow, he's pushing this.
Good shot, Eagle.
That's going to land up there near Ben Callaway. And that spot there, maybe it's just a bit short of Ben. And so he's going to be in that no man's land kind of where he's going to have to get kind of crafty with his approach shot.
Yeah, I don't really like that spot he landed, and he has a lot of tools, so I think he's going to be able to find a way to deal with it, but that is pinched.
Ricky having to kind of just take the med kit out, patch the bleeding, just take the bogey. He's going to have to work for it there, but there's a scrappy player in the world. He looks like Ricky Wysocki. Eagle going to that mutant, that overstable mid-range.
Oh, not so bad. Had to go through the gap.
And made that look.
Yeah, but that's a lot easier than you think, or harder than he made it look. He made that look very easy. The amount of power you have to get that up the hill 4 feet off the ground, not a lot of people have that.
Yeah,
And
extremely low ceiling there.
And ideally, you want to go hyzer around like Calvin was able to here, not
Calvin.
contest any of those trees, but Eagle did not have that option, had to go through the trees, through the low ceiling, but managed the shot perfectly, just like Calvin did.
Get up.
And Ben bouncing back.
Ben looks good.
I say bouncing back. He already bounced back in the last hole with the park job. That's looking like 2 consecutive birdies after the bogey on hole 3.
And that was a monster drive. I mean, can't get lost in that. He was into the trees.
Look at this angle selection from Ricky using that sidearm and hyzer. That's beautiful.
Wow.
There you go, Eagle.
That'll bring
Yeah,
Eagle
Eagle.
to 1 under for the round. So Ben, 25 feet.
Good putt, Ben.
Another good putt.
I have hands. I have arms. I should be able to putt like that.
Mm-hmm. And yet you don't.
And yet, I don't.
Good boy, Calvin.
Good par save from Calvin.
2 in a row. Good. You know, you wouldn't, if you saw his scorecard, you wouldn't think that this is a person that's throwing 2 out-of-bounds shots in a row. Scrambling, not an easy thing to do out here, as Ricky has just proven with that big drive that went out of bounds for about 450 feet. So good on Calvin for managing to get the par.
We've got a new hole here this year. Hole 6, new tee pad, new basket location. Par 3, 335 feet. OB down the left side the entire way. So you got to throw that flat backhand, but you really have to be careful that your skip is not too aggressive and that it does not fade early.
Miss it. That's a
Okay,
great
a
idea.
friendly push, a friendly skip,
Wow, great break.
and a really
Unbelievable.
nice result. That's living right. Eagle going with the new disc in his bag, the Splice.
Slow down.
Wow, it's overstable, huh?
Very overstable. It's just like the next notch overstable from the FD3, and Eagle able to splice a new disc into his bag just fine. This is Calvin's Firebird.
For me.
That's not the Draco, or?
I don't believe that was the Draco. I think it's just a little bit more overstable.
Yeah.
I think this is also Firebird.
And this is looking really nice.
Sit.
I think it's fine. Go in the hole.
Man, what great shots from the group.
Yeah, just peppering the green. Not an easy hole here. Just because the fairway kind of lines you up with the exact shot you have to throw. Like, you're not able to take it wide on that hyzer that you would like to land it soft. And so these guys are having to, another great putt. Just a formality at this point for Ben. It seems like
Yeah.
for them to take the speed off, we saw them kind of anhyzer out of the hand, which will slow it down once it gets to the green.
Yeah.
Or hit the tree right away like Ben did, and that'll slow it down real
That slows
quick.
it down perfectly.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, Calvin is out of sorts.
Bad shot.
2 out of bounds and a really a
right.
rare miss for him from that range.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time that's happened.
It's an uncomfortable feeling to see him miss from that short. He's just so automatic. Very
Yeah, that
strange.
pizza's on the ground. You're gonna have to re-flip the dough.
I'm Paul Ulibarri with today's Bushnell hole breakdown. You can find the Edge Disc Golf Rangefinder at the link in the description. Hole 7 at the Country Club is a unique one, with a rare gap shot and a severe elevation drop of 24 feet. Keeping your drive in bounds will be tough. A typical tee shot will land here, 350 feet from the pin. Your second shot will require you to miss a couple guardian trees to secure a green hit. Let's see how it plays out.
Those new Edge disc golf range finders from Bushnell, reading elevation now. A very cool thing to add to the equation, allowing us to make a few more adjustments with our shot disc selection.
And I think the most prominent feature of this entire hole is that one crossing branch early in the shot. You have to throw this drive uncomfortably low.
Not only that, you really have to, you can't just throw a soft shot off the tee. That OB has bulged out a little bit more than it has in years past. You've really got to put a lot of power behind it. And look at this little tiny box that we have to throw through.
Uh-oh. Oh, gets through it.
That should have enough juice, maybe too much. Wow.
And getting through that tree as well.
I saw a couple players actually opt for this low sidearm gap to the left as well, just to put it in play and take par.
We've also seen the wide hyzer play thrown in the past. Then
Yeah, Ricky. Booming.
why would Ricky do that when you can do this?
He's a slow, and yeah, it slowed down quick.
And I remember back to last year's DDO. He did that every time. Like, he just pushes the disc so far through that low line flight.
When I think of people who like to throw hard through a gap and are accurate, Ricky and Calvin come right to the top of my mind. See if Calvin can make me yeah, it's just, that gap is just as big as wide open space for most people.
Great shot, Calvin.
It's
Great
in the
catch,
exact
too.
same spot.
Well, there wasn't wire on it, so it wasn't that good.
I thought he caught it in midair, though. Like, very sharp. Sharp.
Ben, not in the ideal spot. Is he going to have to go? He is going to go low.
Get in between them.
Yeah, good shot.
That is a great shot.
Yeah, making sure that he had a lot of angle because of the tall grass, getting some sort of skip out of there. He'll have a circle's edge putt. That's nice.
Good. Nurse that tree. Yep. Nice.
Good shot.
Eagle. Big flare. Come on.
Calvin
Big flare.
throwing the Draco. Looks like that's going to slither in to the circle one. Kind of blew that one. Kind of botched it.
I think you could have got away with it, man. I don't think you didn't need to do that. You had it.
Here you go, Rick.
Shout out to YouTube comments for
Yeah, Rick.
helping me come up with a Draco pun for Harry Potter. That is just too good. Actually, he kind of slither into circle 1/circle 2,
Yeah, Calvin.
making the adjustment.
Putt.
Not going to see him miss 2 short putts in a row.
Just slightly right.
Human.
Ah, that looked good. Feel like that one could have stayed.
Oh, for sure.
I think it might have done the good old off the rim push out a little bit higher, if anything, than that one stays.
Yeah, Rick.
Ricky kind of bringing out the old school putt where he used to have that back foot kind of hop forward into his stance to kind of give him that extra push that he used to do back in the 2014, 2015 days. Helps him along the way when he's got a slight straddle putt.
Hole 8, our first par 5, 990 feet. Downhill tee shot. Pinches pretty narrow at the ideal landing zone between the rough on the left and the path on the right. Then you've got this hill that kind of blocks your view of the second shot landing zone. You would like to reach this tree in the middle in 2, and that's pretty doable for these guys. That can set you up for a very, very short 200 or so foot approach to this tight green with OB on both sides.
And those trees are very visible. They're quite visible from the tee, so you know what your work is cut out for you right here. You know, put yourself in position, and you know where you want to be into. Eagle going that flex play, just landing flat down the fairway. What a thing
incredible.
of beauty.
I ain't never seen anybody do that. What is that? Is that a... What was that?
I think that was a cloud breaker or an FD3, maybe an FD3. What was
Both of them.
Look at this, though.
I just don't get it.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
shot.
This is just cruising past Eagles in the air.
Great shot, Rick. Thank you. Attaboy, Rick.
It's an absolute smash.
What was that? What are these guys doing?
What was that?
I've seen this before. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Boring.
what I've seen.
Get down.
Just right in the middle.
Slow down.
You didn't hear me, Nate. Right in the middle. Just listen sometimes, man.
That's way left and middle, but it's inbounds.
Depends on if you're going left or right or forward and backwards.
Ooh, get down.
Don't think about it.
Just stick.
Don't think about
Just stick.
it. I don't think so. Just barely crept over that line. That backhand hyzer is so difficult to keep it in bounds.
That is the correct.
Oh,
no.
That's OB.
Oh,
Sit.
dear.
Yeah, that was just a bad shot right there.
And we failed to mention, I mean, Ben is in the solo lead right now.
Yep.
And those two OBs are going to change that quick.
All three other players in the fairway safe after one.
Work.
We saw last year at DDO.
Hopefully it's quick enough.
Oh, wow.
really?
Okay, Eagle has made a throwing error,
Shit.
gone out of bounds.
I didn't think that was even going to be close to out of bounds. I was about to question his running up like that. How did that stay that left?
There you go, Calvin.
I believe this was the hole that Macbeth came to last year with a very comfortable lead, playing bogey free going into the last round, and then took a triple circle 8 on this hole. So we've seen big numbers on this hole in the past, and it has changed the course of the event.
I feel like this hole is one of those ones that it sneaks up. It seems easy right up until it's not.
There you go, Rick.
And if you're inbounds and you just throw kind of pedestrian shots up the fairway, it's a pretty easy birdie. But once you get out of position, you start to have to press. You go out of bounds almost every shot when you try to do something special on this hole.
Statistically speaking, oh, look at the shot from Ben. And he's going to salvage the bogey. 2 OB shots, he's going to salvage the bogey. So, you know.
It's great. I mean,
The
it's best
tourniquet's
case.
been open. Yeah, he's
He
stopped
made the
bleeding.
correct mistakes. The bad one is to yank the drive right to where you're basically re-teeing and then
Correct.
doing the same
Oh, wow.
mistake on the right side again and then being pinched into those trees. So he did make the correct
Appreciate that.
mistake,
Thank
but
you.
like you said, Nate, bogey's looking like it's going to cost them the lead at this point, but pretty good bogey.
Yeah,
Anytime
it
you're
is.
stacking 2 out of bounds strokes, getting a bogey, you're probably feeling pretty good.
Like hole 1 at Jones Gold, this hole has taken, oh goodness, has taken a couple of double-digit scores to complete. So Eagle McMahon, made a short miss putt there.
Yeah, it sounded like he said something about being bothered by people moving behind the basket there.
Attaboy, Rick.
Yeah, there was a slight distraction there for Eagle. He walked off his putt a couple times and ended up coming back, and I guess he just never really reset. And it looked like he kind of putted that one with some frustration behind it. Not his typical putting rhythm, and you know, it's unfortunate. You definitely don't want to be affected by that, but it's hard to put that out of your head sometimes.
Hole 9, one of the signature holes here at Emporia Country Club. Tunnel tee shot that you have to clear the entire tunnel to even be inbounds. OB on the left as well, OB long. Any OB off the tee goes to a drop zone that is almost impossible to get to the basket from. And then the basket around to the right, tucked into this little cove. This is kind of a par 4.5 in my mind. It is a super, super special birdie 3.
Ricky, look at
What
that
a
tree direction.
result.
That should have not been that good.
Back to the Eagle thing really quick. It's the first time we've had to play with a crowd in a long time. To reset from not having any, spectators, I mean, that can be tough.
This shot.
That he just broke the hole. That's so far.
Yeah,
Just
you
a
gotta love
mid-range.
that one.
Just a mid-range.
Me or you, Ben?
So this is actually after about a 30-minute wait. Big backup here on hole 9. Eagle had to sit there and stew on that mistake.
Eagle, you idiot.
And has compounded
Keep
it
the
with the
nose
one
down.
mistake you cannot make on 9. He was,
Wow.
did not get in bounds, and like he's very, very nearly impossible drop zone to save that par.
Turn, buddy. Can't see it, but
Oh, wow.
This needs to
Oh.
sit.
Oh, what?
This needs to sit. It's the best drive you've ever seen.
Wow. And the angle, I mean, if
Great shot,
if
Ben.
you know you're going to be out of bounds, get as close to it, or that you know you're going to be in. You want to be as close to the out of bounds as possible to
Yes.
set up that turnover angle. So that is really ideal.
This,
Maybe it is possible.
if
My
anyone
goodness.
could do it, it would be Eagle. Oh, just
But how bad is that going to be? Like,
did
that's
exactly what I
kind of thick back in
Yeah.
there.
everything inside those woods is
To be
treacherous.
honest, when it turned, no. But then when it came out, I was like,
This is tough. You got to get to the. You got to make sure to get to the corner, otherwise you have a real slippery turnover from there.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky has any kind of gimme from there. He can see the
No.
basket, but it's 220 into a gap. There's a lot of mistakes to be made. What is this drive?
Needs to hold the turn and get in the.
Just keep going. Okay, we're shopping.
I'll take that every day of the week,
We're shopping.
forever.
I did not think Calvin. I thought Ben would certainly be closer, but I guess because he is so left.
Yeah, that's just the angle thing. Calvin's got this 2-turned, I believe.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, bounced out though. Open putt.
Fortunate.
Okay.
You almost took those.
This is a very challenging tunnel shot. There's no way to miss this approach and get lucky. You have to pierce that little tiny tunnel. Do not think this is going to. Oh, yeah. Don't think so.
No, that is not good.
That's a 30-foot putt that you most likely will not see Ricky hit.
You might not see Ricky.
I don't see Eagle.
Is Ricky by that tree where Eagle looks?
Say it with me.
Oh, yeah.
There, he's behind a bunch of foliage.
Foliage. I said all the letters, I'm pretty sure.
You said all the
You might have
letters.
said all the letters, all 20, all 26 of the letters.
Some word you just stay away from. You know, gotta know you. And now I know.
So,
Calvin, he's got a little bit aggressive there. That's gonna warrant a potentially difficult comeback putt. We've seen him miss a.
Wow, Ricky's
Yeah.
thinking roller. How tough is this?
What?
Well
Yeah,
done. I mean, that is just not something you practice. That's a shot so easy to let that get away from you. He did well.
Did he just roll that underneath a branch that's like almost on the ground, or was that just an optical illusion?
I think he went around it, but. And the putt is just kind of starting to slip away from Ben here.
And just like that, Nate Sexton's putt is right there in contention with
No.
Percentages.
Not yet.
Yeah, you go.
Eagle scrambling for the bogey. And honestly, bogey on this hole, you're losing only a quarter of a stroke to the field on it. It doesn't really feel like you're. I mean, especially if you go to the drop zone. That's as good of a score as you can really get.
Yeah, basically.
Well, you saw 2 perfect drives, and they got this left for par.
And
Yeah, Calvin.
Perfect drives.
Calvin able to.
And I mean,
Like that
Calvin's
par?
wasn't perfect, but
Pretty close.
I mean, we'll all take that forever.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Just being in bounds. You could be in bounds just barely over the wall and you'd take it. Then for his par, and Ricky will move up and finish the front 9 with a bogey. No pars on the front 9 for Rick. He's got 7 birdies and 2 bogeys. I don't know what, but there's a lot of red on that scorecard today. We didn't see much of that at all in round 2.
No, and let's look at our leaderboard. It is Heimburg with the solo lead, 31 under, 30s for Wysocki and Callaway, McMahon 28, Macbeth 3 under for the day, moving a little bit up, staying in that 5th position, and then as always, Dickerson lurking.
Zacharias Johnson, he's putting together a solid round as well. He's making some moves. He's had a really great event so far. Not many holes at all with any bogeys in the first 2 rounds, and he's playing some good golf. So keep an eye on Zacharias Johnson as we head to the back 9 of the 3rd round here in Emporia, Kansas.